Hi, everyone. Welcome to mylftraining.com and another webinar on operating an assisted living facility. This is webinar 18, number 18. Cheryl, my wife, is on the line with us. Cheryl, how are you doing?
Good, thank you.
So we've taken a little hiatus. It's been a little while since we've done a webinar, just different things, but also making a lot of improvements and updates to ALF core training, which is the administrator training. Really adding a lot of questions to our quizzes, trying to make the exam prep that much better. So the pass rate for the state exam is not very high, so we feel like our quizzes can help a lot.
Right, and there have been some changes this year too.
That's right.
To the rules.
So today we're going to discuss a facility that had their annual renewal survey and talk about the deficiencies that they found there. So let's see, it was conducted on October 15th, and based on an observation, interviews, and record review, the facility failed to ensure the appropriateness of continued residency for one of 9 sampled residents. The resident required total care and medication administration services which are beyond the scope of the facility's license to provide, and which are being provided by unlicensed staff.
It's interesting that you said one of 9 residents sampled because they're only licensed for 6.
Right.
So did they have 9 files?
I don't know, but we'll get to that one.
I know, we'll get to that
later. So admission criteria, they took in somebody that required total care. So basically, you can see, can you see the survey?
Let me check. I have mine up.
Okay.
No.
You don't see it?
Oh, yes, now I do.
Okay.
No, I don't. No, I do.
Is it?
No.
You should. Yeah.
No,
okay.
Yes.
Don't worry.
No. Oh, you know, when you talk, it goes blank. Okay, got it. All right.
It should stay.
It doesn't stay when you talk.
Oh.
All right, I have it up now.
Okay, I'll just look at it through here, I guess.
I think it was just my screen. I had to switch over. Sorry.
Okay. All right. So resident 1 was at another facility in Broward, but they did not leave. They didn't have a room for a husband. Resident 1 was on hospice when she moved in. And so basically what you get down when you go further down is that her 1823 stated.
Oh, she had no 1823. Record review found no health assessment form for resident 1 available to review.
That's
they
right.
were admitted to the facility. But they reviewed the service plan for hospice, so the interdisciplinary care plan.
Right.
And that's where it says that they need to provide total help. So total care.
Total help with ambulation, total help with bathing, dressing,
grooming,
toileting,
everything.
Eating, total help, grooming, total help, transferring, total help. And there were no progress notes on file. So basically, inappropriate placement. So,
right.
If the health assessment said that she wasn't like that when she came in, then I guess you may have a different story. But
right, but the interdisciplinary care plan was
on admission.
On admission. So they really should have done a different assessment and made sure that they could meet these needs and that they want total care. And that's what's important about getting the paperwork prior to taking someone in, because sometimes they're really not total care and this person may not be, but the paperwork's filled out incorrectly.
Right,
so
and
it could have been prevented.
What one person
considers
really
total
doesn't
care.
understand would say it's total care. Yeah, because you got to stand there and help them, and you got to stand there. It's total care, or total assist, or whatever they may think. A lot of times, hospitals, nursing homes, rehabs will call it total care because they require a lot of help, but it doesn't mean total care.
Correct. So the staff A stated that they didn't know that they were not supposed to accept a resident already in hospice here at the facility. Well, that's incorrect because you can accept hospice residents as long as they're appropriate and meet the criteria. The problem with this residence, they didn't meet the criteria on the paperwork.
Or possibly in reality. Yeah.
Sure, but kind of looks like they went on the paperwork.
Yeah. So next thing they got tagged for, Cheryl, are we done with that one? That
Yeah.
was a class 3 violation. Staffing standards. They got tagged for staffing standards. Based on observation, record review, and interview, the assisted living facility failed to maintain a written work schedule which reflects its 24-hour staffing pattern. So remember that when we're reading down below, where basically they arrived and observed 8 residents in the facility. Staff B was the only staff present at the facility at the time of arrival. She was interacting with facility residents and providing assistance with activities of daily living for a census of 8 residents. I asked her if she was the only one in the facility. She stated, "I'm here by myself." She then called the administrator, who arrived 3 minutes later, and she said that, "I just left the ALF. I live next door, and I was here earlier helping with the morning routine, medications, and breakfast. I just went next door to take a shower and change." Class 3 violation. So the violation is not
that she left to take a shower. It's that they didn't have the staffing patterns.
They didn't have a schedule, which they don't really mention in here, because really what they should have said is, "I asked the administrator to review their staffing patterns or schedule for the last 6 months," or whatever. So she probably wasn't listed on any type of schedule as a caregiver. So I guess you couldn't
count her hours towards the minimum, possibly.
But really, it's
paperwork error on the facility. Should just had it. Next is training first aid and CPR, and also medication. So they went through the record review of the personnel records, and they found that they didn't include evidence that the staff has taken first aid and CPR training for 1 out of the 3 sampled staff members. So what they found is, basically the same. Their CPR and first aid training was expired. So the administrator said she will schedule the updates. They got a class 3 on that. For the medication, they found that the facility failed to ensure that all hired staff had received the 2-hour continuing update medication training. So this was practices for 3 out of 3. So they looked at all 3 staff files and found that they're not in compliance with the medication.
Yeah, well, that should be easy because you can get that online at myalftraining.com. The continuing education. The new rule for the initial is 6 hours. So make sure that all of your staff have the new, those that require the 6 hours, new people, that they get 6 hours and not 4, because there's still schools out there teaching it with the 4-hour training, and probably some pharmacies or people who provide those trainings.
Right. And what is our 2-hour updates? Only $15, right? If you don't have the subscription.
Yeah, it's free with the subscription, so it's really easy with that. I mean, if you're a small facility, it's only $10 a month or $120 a year, all access for all your employees and yourself. Medium facility is only $30 a month or $360 a year, and a large facility is only $50 a month. It includes Alzheimer's level 1, level 2, administrator continuing education. It includes the in-service training packages, the new pre-service orientation training that is required. So that's a new requirement, 2-hour pre-service orientation training. That's included. So they tag them for that. So basically they'll come back out and they're going to have to go and retake the whole 6 hours, those 3 people, aren't they?
They are, because they didn't stay in compliance with the CEUs.
Yeah, so that's a hard one to fix once. I mean, you're going to have to go and schedule a 6-hour training, and then.
And sometimes those are hard to find and line up.
Yeah, but a nurse or a pharmacist could teach it. So
next is unlicensed activity. I was looking for what kind of class they got cited on, and I didn't see it. So I thought.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I don't see.
So based on observation, record review, and interview, the facility exceeded its operating license by providing assisted living services to a total of 7 residents while being licensed for only 6 residents.
All right.
So that's where when they walked in, they had
just
8.
probably didn't count. They just lost count. You
Who
know, I
lost
mean,
count?
they had only 6. They're counting with their fingers, and
No.
no.
Listen, read it. So upon arrival at the ALF, they observed a total of 8 residents in the facility, and they're licensed for 6. So staff identified residents 7 and 8 as daycare residents, which is completely fine. So they reviewed stuff and they toured the rooms, and they saw that there were only 6 rooms and 6 people. So they did identify them, resident 7 and 8 as daycare residents. So what ACA did was they called resident number 7's daughter, and she stated that she's been taking him to the home for about 2 years, and he used to go to a regular daycare service center, but he has diabetes and needs his blood sugar checked, and they were unable to provide the service to him. And here at the home, the nurse comes and checks him in the morning and the afternoon and gives him his insulin. Sometimes he stays overnight if we need to go somewhere. He is safe there. He is well fed, and they care for him, and he has never fallen. He is like family there, and he loves them and enjoys being there.
That sounds wonderful.
It sounds wonderful. It is
Well, I
wonderful.
mean, the thing is, this is the hard thing for them to prove. I mean, I guess if you took them overnight, it's respite. Then what? You just need to have a log.
Well, they need to have a separate log of daycare and respite residents, or they need to log it on the admission discharge log. So they don't have any paperwork. It could have been prevented.
Well, the thing is, they're getting tagged for having 7 residents when only licensed for 6. But how do they know? I mean, how do they know when he did stay overnight that they didn't have less than 6? They could have had 5.
Well, they didn't document it. That's the problem.
True.
The facility that's the importance of documentation.
Yeah, because they may have said, well, you can't stay overnight now because I have 6 residents and I'm full. Or now you can stay overnight because I only have 5 residents. Things change, but I don't know. Who knows?
Who knows?
Doesn't sound like
But it was just a breakdown in paperwork. If they had the right documentation, they wouldn't have pursued it any further, probably.
Yeah. True.
And that is it for that one.
I'm surprised they called the daughter. I mean, how many times have we been through things and we're like, call the family, ask the family, and they're like, nope.
Nope. Yeah, it's like if you want to call and ask. Yeah, no, that's actually good that they did.
Yeah. And look how complimentary she was. I mean, they treat him like family, and that he gets good care there. And, these people are probably providing a good service for these residents. And it still frustrates me that a lot of times surveyors come in and you're treated like a criminal, like you've done something wrong. And I don't think a lot of people really understand.
Well, we get those calls weekly when, with feedback from different facilities when surveyors are in there and how they're treated. So it's not
they're treated very poorly.
Saying a personal attack, that they treat us poorly. We hear it from all over the state.
Yeah.
And it's too bad.
Well, it was pretty quick. I mean, I don't know, maybe they're pretty straightforward, or that
it wasn't a very long one.
Okay. Well, I think that's it. And we're going to start doing these a little bit more regularly again. So subscribe to us on YouTube, or these will also be included in the Continued Education for Administrators 12-hour CEU course. All right.
Where can you find that?
That is at myalftraining.com. You should know that.
I'm joking.
I know you are. All right, guys. Well, that's it. Cheryl, thank you very much. Have a great day.
You're welcome. Bye.